Alright guys, Jack here, JBF Music and Guitar Lessons. What I've got for you today is a straight reaction to Queen live and their song Liar. So Queen are a band, despite being from the UK, I don't really know that much of. I want to give a shout out and a huge thanks to Rabbi Rams for recommending this one to me. And on that note, I do also want to say thank you to Stephen Williams, Glenn Kelly, Rebecca Hay, Dales Ghost and Konos P for the continued support on patreon.com/JBF Music. That is the best way to support the channel if you enjoy the content I'm putting out here. What I tend to do is just jump through the video without listening to look for like a still for the background, so it's a bit more interesting than a black screen. And I stopped on this one because there's something quite beautifully Spinal Tap about how they look. I'm not too sure when this video is coming out, but just now the film's just come out. I'm hoping to see it this weekend, in the opening weekend. So the original is a cracking film. I don't think the sequel will live up to it, but hopefully it will still be fun. Anyway, I've got no idea what to expect here because the limited amount of Queen I know is mainly from the pop stuff that they've done, like the hits. I do know they've got more interesting and eclectic stuff in the back catalogue, so we'll be super interested to find out what weird and wonderful things we've got going on here. It's live as well, so that's going to be good. Bit of Freddie doing his thing.
Now then, we've come at a point in time we'd like to do a number that was released. Oh, they know it. Might as well get on with it. Number released in the States as a single. It's a number called Liar.
Ah, so this is a single as well. Okay. But like an 8-minute single. Unheard of these days. I think that's a little cowbell. It's cool. It's keeping... You can hear the hi-hats. Just keeping that steady beat throughout while he's doing this cool tom-tom work. May with that nice mid-rangey guitar tone. Cowbell, it's got that kind of almost American southern rock feel here. That's a creamy full tone. Freddie accenting the stabs with his tambourine. Awesome. So the big curly leads they have would actually take a wee bit of the treble off. I don't know if that's relevant to anyone, but if you have a big coily lead, it will take some of the treble away, some of the high end from the guitar and the bass. That's a cool riff. This is a really long intro, I'm liking it. It's proper kind of old school rock. It's just cool having the one guitar as well, like this, isn't it? It's almost like an instrumental or something, with how many riffs and changes they've gone through so far. Okay, dropping the dynamic. So I think Brian May's just like rolled down his volume and picking more lightly. That change of guitar tone. Freddie nailing it as you'd expect. And coming in with the backing vocals, nailing the harmony. It's very theatrical, kind of slight campiness almost coming in. I just can't tell where this is going to go. This is really interesting. It's a good hook as well, isn't it? Big, chunky riffs. And it's Queen, so the chords are always kind of more interesting as well. The way they transition between sections. Has an amazing vibrato there. It's not going to be easy walking about the stage in those platform boots either. I think those are platforms Ryan May's got on. Correct me in the comments. Must be quite nice for Freddie having a song like this in the set, where so far there's a bit of a break from singing. Oh, he does have pedals, okay. Those harmonies are just on point. Live as well. You can hear the falsetto coming in, which I think is the drummer that does the really high bit. I know they've all got certain ranges they tended to do with the backing. Really good quality recording for live in the mid-70s as well. It's, got that nice kind of upbeat but rock thing that Thin Lizzy and AC/DC did well too. Oh, those vocal harmonies, man, they're doing it. Okay, going off a bit here. Changed to like a minor, so it felt a bit kind of darker. Just getting that nice guitar hook in there. Some cool like ascending rock bass lines, like almost kind of Hendrixy. Oh, this is cool. Right. There's some hair he's got on there as well. It's an impressive kind of, I don't know, is it a poodle perm? Is it a kind of long fro? What would we call that? A super creamy tone as well. If you've got a tone like that huge, you really don't need a rhythm guitar for filling it out. It's taking the same riff and folds the chords down the fourth there. Oh wow, he's really exposed here as well. Like if there's not another, like a rhythm guitarist or a keyboard, you can hear all the fluffs and there's none. It's a really complex arrangement. Oh, that's cool, right? Very high if it's a cowbell. It's reminding me a wee bit of like some of the stuff Deep Purple did in terms of like the kind of almost proggy changes without being prog. That makes sense. Brian May's joining in the rhythm here with this like kind of things on the guitar. It feels like they're ramping up to something. Very 60s rock. Almost like a proto-grunge kind of riff. Oh, that's really cool. It looks like, so I don't know their names apart from Brian May and Freddie. There's something on the bass bridge around here. Bit of foam. He might be using to stop string chirp, or it might be to mute the strings slightly so they have a slightly more percussive sound. Hit me up in the comments if you know. We're getting a bit of a bass solo. Yeah. Oh, cool. Unexpected chord. How do you even go about like writing a song like this and putting it together as a four-piece nonetheless? Everyone's ideas getting chucked into the mix. And a descending line here. A bit Blue Oyster Culty as well in the toe in the water of prog without going full Genesis or full Yes. My little rocker brain just can't figure out what's going to happen. Like, is this the end? Are they going into something else? I think it's the end. That was quite the roller coaster for me. I think like it'd take me a lot of listens to get like the structure in my head. Like usually after a few listens, because of doing music for a long time, things can slot in quite easily and I can make sense of it. That one was just kind of, it's not like a template I can draw on or like modify to do it, because it's just doing its own thing. It's telling its story in its own way. So before, when I was talking about Brian May's sound, and I was mumbling about if he's rolling his volume down because I couldn't see pedals, there's this little heap of stuff on the ground here. This clump of white and black stuff here, these will do different things to his guitar sound. So it's Brian May, so there's probably some sort of delay thing in there. There'll be a wah, maybe a fuzz face, and some sort of drive. I think he used fuzz faces, I might be wrong. If you're interested in Brian May's playing and that sort of thing, I will link to videos I've done before with the eye, which should be roughly up there, somewhere up there. So if you're wondering what I was mumbling about, basically if you roll the volume down on a guitar, it will become quieter, as you might expect. If you've got a big gainy sound like he had there, like very overdriven, very saturated, it cleans up the sound so it sounds less distorted. But if you put something like a fuzz face, a distortion pedal, guitar distortion pedal, amplifier, you can turn that pedal on and off, and it's going to give you this big kind of booming, harmonically rich Brian May sound. And the foam underneath the strings, you can see really clearly here, the bass there at the bridge. One reason for doing this is if you have strings exposed, like, well, you can see that here, they will kind of chirp a little bit. So something like a Telecaster, I always put a bit of foam there. There's some guitars like SGs or Les Pauls, there's strings in between the bridge and the tailstop. This bit here, which will chirp, and particularly if you're using distortion and things like that, the strings will vibrate and resonate with certain notes and certain frequencies. So sometimes this bit will kind of just chirp and do its own little thing, similar with the bit up here. And most of the time that's not that big a deal, but if you're recording, you can get these annoying little artifacts, and if you want things to sound very kind of pristine, it's a way to do it. The easy way to do it is just to take some foam, pop it under there. So that is one reason why you'd put foam in these bits. You'll notice here that what the bassist has done is it's actually not behind the nut or behind the bridge, it's in front of the bridge, so the bridge being this bit here. So what this will do is to some effect dampen the strings, so it'll have an effect not dissimilar to palm muting, which is when you rest your hand, your palm, on the strings here, and you get a slightly more percussive sort of sound. I'll link to some videos going into more depth on that up there with the little eye again. So that would be my suspicion, would be it's there to create a slightly more muted, slightly more percussive sound, but allowing him to still play bass in the normal kind of fingered style like this without having to rest his palm on the strings, which is doable but it's a bit awkward. Or use a plectrum where you're just kind of getting quite a different sound from the fingers, more attack, a bit more harsh, a bit less rounded. But as ever, do correct me in the comments, because I would hope that someone out there will know better than me, because you guys normally do. I also was mumbling things about something going minor. This is the point here. So basically this chord comes in, right? So we're still major here, it's quite triumphant. By major I mean like the tonal centre, that's kind of, I don't want to say key, but basically we've got a major sound here. Then there, bang, that's when it's got this kind of deeper, darker, kind of edgier minor sound. Almost kind of like a Judas Priest or Iron Maiden kind of lead line happening there. So if you're wondering why there's this kind of dramatic feeling there, if it's suddenly getting kind of a bit darker and a bit more kind of determined, or like it's, you know, kind of going forward to try and do something, but a bit more in a kind of dastardly sort of way. That's why. And then here we're back to this like more major sound. That is really reminding me of, it might be Come On Feel the Noise I'm thinking about. I don't know if it's the original or the Quiet Riot cover, but there's a bit in Come On Feel the Noise that sounds a lot like that bit there. So I think inspiration may have been taken. I don't know which way that would have gone. And thankfully, no Spinal Tap incidents. Everything really on point, really tight. More so than I would have expected, and I don't know why. Probably the Queen stuff I've heard isn't as... the arrangements aren't as complex as that. Aside from, I suppose, Bohemian Rhapsody. But this one felt like... Bohemian Rhapsody almost feels to me like 3 movements or 3 songs kind of back to back. But this one felt like one piece more. It felt more cohesive. But still had an awful lot going on, a lot of changes there. If you've enjoyed this, please feel free to click on one of these videos, which will either be more reaction content or Queen / Brian May stuff. But cheers guys, have a good one.